Hi friends, I am sharing with you a process of transformation that I did recently. What happened was I painted a tropical leaf as you see here, and this tropical leaf painting was done a few weeks ago, and I didn't like how it looks, and I decided to change it to a paisley design. And the first step is use a white charcoal pencil to sketch out the paisley design. After that, I will use acrylic gouache to paint on top of dried watercolor. I have to paint quickly, not that I have to rush the painting process, but when I apply the acrylic gouache over watercolor, I have to glide the brush over the paper quickly so that I will not brush up the paint underneath, especially those very saturated colors like red. I'm painting a light outline over dark colored ground, and I have to be really careful and do it fast and use dry paint so I will not lift up the darker color underneath by accident. So these are the tricks I'm sharing with you. And I used to paint paisleys like a machine. Before we had Photoshop, people in textile industry were using artists to paint different color combinations by hand. And what you do is first you match the colors that provided by your customers, and then you trace down the layout, and then you apply the colors. Well, it's a bit complicated to explain. Basically, all these works are done by computer now, but I used to do these change of colors by hand. And I can charge quite a bit by doing color combinations for paisley, because paisley looks very complicated. But if you paint enough of it, having experience, you will know, similar to scales in music, I guess, there are certain things that make a paisley design look paisley like, and once you know these basic rules, you can get the shape look like paisley pretty quickly. And yeah, so when I paint paisley, it brings up bittersweet memories. The bitter part of it was that I thought this type of work is it's almost beneath me because on one hand you think you're a full-fledged artist who trained and years to be a creative person, and then here you are doing copy for a living. That's the bitter part. And the sweet part was the pay was decent, and I was able to pay the rent with the money I made. I was able to buy decent food, and prior to that I wasn't able to do any of it. I was able to do a little bit of it, but the job I did was not even painting as a textile designer or a colorist. I was working in the restaurant. Prior to working in the restaurant, I was a drafting person in a architecture firm making minimum wages. But doing textile design, recoloring by hand allows me to make triple, quadruple the money that I made in the restaurant or prior to that in the architecture firm as the entry-level drafting person. So it brings up bittersweet memories of my earlier days as a new immigrant in this country. So back to the Paisley. So the original tropical leaf was painted on Arche hard-pressed 140-pound watercolor pad, and the paper is incredibly durable. It takes a lot of beating and still stays nice and flexible and flat. I just love the quality of that brand. And as you see, acrylic gouache is coming out quite well over the dark watercolor background. And like I said before, as long as the value is right, the pattern will show. In general, this chartreuse color that I'm using is a little bit lighter than the background, so it shows. And I don't want, again, I purposely don't want the edge to be, the pattern and the edge of the pattern to be very precise and even. I like the imperfection and hand-painted look of the Paisley design, and the overall feeling that I'm hoping to achieve is the bohemian look. The background colors are almost all vegetable dyed colors, and the colors on top could be some maybe artificial fiber. It has nice and rich color. So overall, the background that I started with was about 50% darker than the white paper. It's almost a gray. It almost has a value that's between white and black. Therefore, all the colors that I use for the Paisley on top of that ground is going to be light. A little bit darker than white, but lighter than the background color. So it shows. But I do want to use some darker color later on. So this is a little bit, quite a bit complicated than my previous video, than the project that I show on my previous video. To give you a nice break, By nice break, I mean you're probably not gonna try to do the full-scale paisley as I'm doing here. You can just sit back, relax, and just enjoy the show. And I promise the next video will show you something super simple so you can easily recreate the look at home. So this one is going to be for a customer. Will be captured digitally and then reproduced onto the surface of many different kinds of handcrafted products, storage paper storage boxes, textile designs for quilting fabric possibly. So it will be licensed to 2 different manufacturers, and I'm excited to see it becomes the gorgeous product that our partners made. And that reminds me, I have a lot of products from manufacturers who licensed my image and made them into absolutely gorgeous products, and I'm very grateful for their support of my art, and because of their support I'm able to make a living as an artist. I want to take this opportunity to let them know that I am super grateful and I don't take any of their support for granted. As you see here, I'm using some emerald green to add accent, and that green is in general darker than the background. So I have been working with my agent and publisher, Wild Apple Graphics, since 2002. So that's many years ago. Before that, I was a textile designer in Manhattan, New York. And before that, I was a student at Fashion Institute of Technology, and before that I worked in a Chinese restaurant packing takeout orders in the kitchen for 3 to 4 months. I absolutely hated that job. And before that I was a drafting person at an architecture firm. It was an entry-level job. I didn't enjoy it. But that was my very first job after I set foot in Manhattan. So being a textile designer in Manhattan was pretty good. And then I left the job, moved to California because my husband got a job here. And after moving to California, it it was pretty hard to find textile design jobs here in Silicon Valley, so I decided to get into art licensing. I was very lucky to find Wild Apple Graphic and have been working with them since 2002. Very professional, fair, honest group of people in Woodstock, Vermont. So I hope you enjoy those colors as much as I do, and I really enjoy painting this design, and I can't wait to see them in the stores. Yeah. Next video I'll paint something less complicated, unless you guys prefer this type of work. Otherwise, yeah, for sure I'll show something less complicated so you can easily reproduce them at home. So painting a pattern like this using all kinds of juicy, gorgeous, spicy colors makes me happy. Makes me feel very much alive. I hope watching it bring you joy and make you want to paint and be an artist and be super creative. I'm sure you are super creative already. I guess my angle of this sharing this process is to show you that I can transform a painting that I do not like into something quite different, so that nothing is wasted and I get to enjoy the process as well. So what do you think? Leave me a comment, and I would love to hear from you. And thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and click the bell so you will be notified as soon as I publish a new video. See you next time. Bye bye.